questions for your company, and it's up to you if you decide to implement them or not. So, of course, I'm Natasha Telfair, and not sure if you know if I'm a CPP, but I'm a certified payroll professional. So, just to give you a little background of the CEO of Sharshankin Payroll and Business Services, I am a mother of four, boiler of one, pet parent of one dog, which is Jay. And in my spare time, I like to travel, and I'm a foodie. I have a BS in Public Policy and Administration, an AA in Business Management, Accounting Application Certificates, Certified Payroll Professional. I'm a member of the APA, and the CPP designation is obtained through the APA through a proctored exam that you must pass. And every 5 years, you are required to have a minimum of 120 continuing education hours. And when I recertified in 2019, I actually had close to 200. Also, I'm a retired cosmetologist and I am currently retired from all this stuff I'm about to name. So, I was in the cosmetology field for over 20 years as a dual state licensed cosmetologist, licensed in Georgia and Florida. I owned two salons. I was a platform artist, educator. I am the owner and creator of Glam Couture hair products. My business is trademarked, which I did by myself. I'm an internationally trained wig maker trained in Asia as well as London. I am also a website builder and business and life coach. So, the first thing I like to do for all of my presentations is be sure that people are connected to the IRS classification of employee versus independent contractor. So, an employee receives a W 2 to start off, an independent contractor receives a 1099, but it's a little bit deeper than that. If you direct or control the work performed by the employee, even if it's a right that's not exercised, then that's probably an employee. And just breaking that down a little more granular. Say, for instance, you want someone to build your website, and you say, these are all the things I want in my website. So you give them your end desired result. How they come to that is completely up to them. You have no control over it. You don't decide what tools they use, what platform they build it on, or anything like that. Then that will be an independent contractor. If you invest in the equipment the worker uses or you reimburse them for any of their expenses, they are considered to be an employee. If you provide benefits, medical, dental, vision, life, etc., they are considered to be an employee. This is an employee, any of these things, and you should be paying employer taxes and issuing a W 2. A lot of people try to avoid doing W 2 because of FICA taxes, but there's also other taxes involved. You have FUTA tax, which is federal unemployment, SUTA tax, which is state unemployment. There's different laws, rules, and regulations you have to abide by when you have an employee. An independent contractor is defined by the IRS as someone that receives a 1099. The contractor determines how the work is performed. The contractor provides their own tools and pays for their business expenses. They do not receive benefits. They're an independent contractor, and you give them a 1099 for any monies that you pay them. So, from that, we're going to go into a high level overview of hiring, onboarding, and training. And my little visuals over here to the side, this chart means absolutely nothing, just that this is about business. And in business, you use charts. So, when we were discussing the issues you were having with your company, my problem analysis was that you had a high turnover rate and unproductive hours. That was your main primary complaint. So, I am going to do a high level overview starting with the hiring process. If you do not have these things in place, these are recommendations that I can give you that are very high level to put it in place. So, for the hiring process, you want to define, create, and identify a role to be filled. I believe you do that through Bamboo. There were a little tweaks that I suggested, and you approved a few, which I actually went ahead and did those tweaks. You want to be sure that you source, market, and promote open positions to receive qualified candidates. I believe you do that as well. You want to select and evaluate candidates for position and the company culture. I am not sure that you have created a company culture or if you know what your company culture is, or if when you're looking to bring people on board, if you're trying to identify will they fit into the company culture. But that is the start of making a person feel like they belong and they're a part of something, and that will possibly help eliminate some of the high turnover that you've been experiencing. um Another thing, you want to verify, follow up with ideal candidate to confirm the skills and information presented. And you want to really analyze the person from your very first conversation with them all the way through the interview, through the decision to hire or not. Failing to do this, in my opinion, will result in underperforming employees and a waste of company resources and time. It is cheaper to keep an employee, or, well, we'll just say an employee, on board and train them with the tools that they need than it is to constantly keep terminating and rehiring. But in some instances, you will have to just get rid of a non performer. So the right hire will help build the company culture, drive sales, and ultimately position the company as a leader in the industry. Your employees are a representation of the company vision and mission statement. Are they the right fit? Are you hiring to be sure they're the right fit and for longevity, or are you just looking for seats? What? How do they say it? Um, butts in the seats or whatever. But that's the difference. Like if you just need people in the seat and it don't matter, okay, fine. None of this makes sense and throw it all out the door. But if you're trying to get some people that's going to be around for a while, that will make more sense. So going in next is your onboarding process. And this is considered to be organizational socialization. I know you stated that you wanted social butterflies. Well, if you want social butterflies, then when you bring them in, when you onboard them, you have to give them a social butterfly experience. So, with the purpose of helping the new hire become acclimated to the work environment, you want to be sure that they have a sense of belonging. So that starts with the onboarding process. You want to help the new hire feel comfortable in the workplace. You want to earn their commitment to the organization and help them start producing and contributing to the cause. And once you have a person's buy-in, they are more likely to assist and do what's needed, opposed to just throwing someone in there in the ocean and tell them to figure out how to swim, and they've never swum before. So going into the training process, this is to strengthen the skills each employee will need to improve. So development brings employees to a higher level so they all will have similar skills and knowledge. It helps to reduce weak links in the company, and it builds team rapport and buy-in from the ultimate company representation. So when you get into starting to brand your company and things like that, your employees are going to be part of your brand. So that goes back to the hiring process. Are they the right fit? Because you have to realize that if you just bring any and everybody in, that's representing your company. And you don't want to have a company where when people go to research you, all they have is a lot of negative interaction coming back. So you want to be sure you're hiring people that are a fit for the company. So going from that, we're going to go into continuous process improvement. And I saw the typo on the prior slide, and I apologize for not fixing it. But continuous process improvement is really where you're looking at the process, looking at the results, finding the gaps, and improving it. So this happens in small increments. It's not in one big whop. So many times we're kind of impatient. We want a quick fix. We want to put a band-aid on it. But what we really should be doing is stop thinking, digging down to the root cause of the problem in order to fix the broken pieces. And this should be done on a regular and continued basis for continued success. And my goal is to help you dig down into the root cause, apply a process that will work, and show you the steps so you can continually improve the process through my knowledge sharing with you of what those gaps are. So, just to do a high level overview of process analysis, it's identifying the problem, determining the stakeholders, completing a process map to dig down into the root cause, identify possible resolution, complete the process plan, implement the process plan, test the process plan. You always want to test because in testing is where you identify the gap. So that's why a lot of different things, when I was kind of working through it, I needed to actually put my hand on it and do it because I needed to see where were the gaps. And then, there were different questions that I would ask at different points in this process. So if it passes, then you move it to process improvement. But if it fails, then you go back to step 4 of the process analysis. And don't be afraid to fail fast. I'd rather find out something isn't working like in 3 days than to be plowing at it for a year or trying to move it forward for a year just to find out that it's a year wasted when I knew on day 3 it just wasn't